Ever wondered where the northernmost point on Earth is? Let's embark on a journey to the mysterious North Pole, a place of wonder and extreme conditions. It's the point where Earth's axis pierces its surface, the pivot upon which our planet elegantly pirouettes. Now here's something fascinating. The North Pole isn't stationed on land. No, it dances amidst the Arctic Ocean, cradled by a frozen sea. It's a surreal spectacle of a world painted in hues of white and blue, where the landscape is a canvas of ice that constantly shifts and moves. The North Pole is like a nomad, its precise location never truly fixed. The drifting ice, influenced by wind and ocean currents, causes this elusive point to shift, to wander, perpetually on the move. It's a bit like playing hide and seek on a planetary scale, isn't it? Despite this constant dance, the North Pole remains the crowning point of our world, a frosty kingdom where the lines of longitude converge. It's a place that has fascinated explorers and scientists for centuries, a testament to the Earth's axial tilt that gives us our seasons and our varied climates. So picture this, a place not quite like any other, where the sea wears a frozen disguise, where the ground beneath your feet may not be ground at all but shifting ice. A place that, despite its cold demeanor, plays a crucial role in the Earth's climate and ecosystems. As we journey further into the mysteries of the North Pole, we'll encounter tales of extreme cold, endless days and nights, and the stark reality of a world inaccessible by land. We'll delve into the effects of climate change on this icy realm, exploring the implications of the melting Arctic sea ice. But for now, let's marvel at the wonder that is the North Pole. A place that defies our understanding of place, a point that's always shifting, always on the move. Imagine a place that's always on the move. That's the North Pole for you. Ever experienced a cold winter day and thought it was unbearable? Well, think again. The North Pole might be the poster child for the phrase, "chilled to the bone." The region is draped in an eternal blanket of ice and snow, and it's not just for the aesthetics. The North Pole's climate is extreme, the kind of extreme that makes your average winter day seem like a beach holiday. The North Pole has two distinct seasons, 6 months of constant light and warmth, and 6 months of unending darkness and cold. But don't be fooled by the term warmth. The North Pole's summer, which lasts from late March to late September, is not the time for swimsuits and sunbathing. Even at the height of summer, temperatures rarely climb above freezing. Just imagine, a summer where ice cream doesn't melt. As summer fades, the North Pole braces itself for the long winter ahead. From late September to late March, the North Pole is plunged into constant darkness, a phenomenon known as the polar night. During this time, the sun doesn't rise at all, and temperatures can plummet to a bone-chilling -40 degrees Celsius, which, interestingly enough, is also -40 degrees Fahrenheit. The constant cold and the lack of sunlight during the winter months create an environment that's inhospitable to most forms of life. It's a world of frozen seas and icy landscapes where survival is a testament to resilience and adaptability. It's the kind of cold that can freeze your breath before it leaves your lips. The kind of cold that can make the simple act of inhaling a painful experience. So, the next time you're shivering on a cold winter day, spare a thought for the North Pole. Its endless expanse of ice and snow, its unforgiving winters, and its frigid summers are testament to the raw, unyielding power of nature. So think our winters are harsh? The North Pole might just change your mind. How would you like a day that lasts 6 months, or a night that does the same? Imagine a world where the concept of day and night as we know it simply doesn't apply. That's what you'll find at the North Pole. Here, nestled at the top of our world, the North Pole experiences an extraordinary phenomenon known as the midnight sun. As the Earth journeys around the sun, its tilt means the North Pole tilts towards the sun during the summer months, from late March to late September. This tilt results in the sun remaining visible in the sky for a staggering 24 hours a day. Can you envision a day that never ends? A day where the sun doesn't sink below the horizon, but instead circles around it, bathing the frozen landscape in a constant, unending light. But the North Pole isn't just a world of endless days, it's also a world of perpetual nights. As the Earth continues its orbit, the North Pole tilts away from the sun during the winter months, from late September to late March. This tilt plunges the North Pole into a period known as the polar night. During the polar night, the sun doesn't rise above the horizon at all. Instead, the North Pole is shrouded in darkness for a full 24 hours a day for 6 long months. Imagine a night where dawn never breaks, where the darkness stretches on and on, unbroken by the light of day. It's a time of profound silence and stillness, a time when the only illumination comes from the stars above and the ethereal glow of the northern lights. This constant cycle of light and darkness, the endless day and the perpetual night, is a result of the Earth's tilt and its orbit around the sun. It's a phenomenon unique to the polar regions, a testament to the extraordinary extremes that exist on our planet. But what does this mean for life at the North Pole? Well, the few species that call this harsh environment home have adapted to these extremes in remarkable ways. Polar bears, for instance, have evolved to be predominantly nocturnal, hunting in the endless night of the polar winter. And during the endless day of the polar summer, they take advantage of the constant light to hunt and feed, storing up energy for the long winter ahead. The North Pole, a world of extremes, is a testament to the extraordinary diversity and adaptability of life on Earth. From the 6-month-long day of the midnight sun to the 6-month-long night of the polar night, the North Pole is a place where the ordinary rules of day and night simply don't apply. A world of extremes indeed, wouldn't you say? Ever thought about visiting the North Pole? It's not as easy as you might think. Picture this: a vast expanse of ice and snow, a horizon that stretches into infinity, and a silence so profound it's almost deafening. This is the North Pole, the northernmost point on Earth, a place so remote and inaccessible, it's almost otherworldly. Unlike its southern counterpart, the South Pole, which is located on the solid landmass of the Antarctic continent, and even boasts a permanent research station, the North Pole is a different beast altogether. There's no land beneath the North Pole, only the ever-shifting, ever-drifting ice of the Arctic Ocean. It's like trying to pin a location on a moving target, not the easiest of tasks, as you can imagine. So, if you're planning an expedition to the North Pole, you can forget about trekking over land. The North Pole is not a destination you can reach by simply strapping on a pair of snowshoes and heading north. The ice is constantly moving, driven by winds and ocean currents, which means that even if you do manage to reach what you think is the North Pole, you might find that it has moved by the time you get there. Furthermore, the lack of a solid landmass means there are no permanent human settlements or research stations at the North Pole. Unlike the South Pole's Amundsen Scott Station, there's no cozy base camp where you can retreat from the harsh Arctic conditions. Any human presence at the North Pole is temporary and transient, much like the ice itself. That's not to say that the North Pole is devoid of human activity, far from it. The region is explored primarily through temporary expeditions and scientific missions. These brave explorers and researchers travel by icebreaker ships, specially equipped aircraft, or even by dog sled, braving the harsh conditions to conduct their studies or simply to experience the thrill of standing at the top of the world. But even these expeditions are fraught with challenges. The shifting ice can create pressure ridges, towering walls of ice, or lead to open leads of water, both of which can halt an expedition in its tracks. Not to mention the extreme cold, the risk of polar bear encounters, and the disorienting effects of the 24-hour daylight or darkness, depending on the season. In the end, reaching the North Pole is an achievement that few can claim. It requires courage, resilience, and a healthy respect for the power and unpredictability of nature. But for those who do make it, the rewards are immense. The chance to stand at the top of the world, the thrill of conquering one of the planet's last frontiers, and the opportunity to witness the stark, raw beauty of the Arctic wilderness. The North Pole, a place so remote, it's almost otherworldly. The North Pole, a barometer for our planet's health. The North Pole, despite its icy and inaccessible nature, is a significant indicator of the health of our planet. It is highly susceptible to the impacts of climate change, with the melting Arctic sea ice serving as a stark reminder of the challenges we face. The region's frigid temperatures and icy landscapes may seem impervious to change, yet these icy expanses are not as permanent as we might think. Rising global temperatures have led to an increase in the rate of ice melt, leading to a decrease in the overall ice cover. This is not just a local issue, but a global one. The melting ice does not just disappear. It contributes to rising sea levels worldwide, posing a threat to coastal cities and low-lying countries. But the melting ice doesn't just affect sea levels. It also has a profound impact on the unique ecosystems of the Arctic. The ice serves as a habitat for several species, including the iconic polar bear and various types of seals. These creatures rely on the ice for hunting, breeding, and in some cases simply surviving. As the ice disappears, so too does their habitat, pushing these species towards an uncertain future. Moreover, the ice also plays a critical role in regulating our planet's climate. The white surface of the ice reflects sunlight back into space, helping to cool the Earth. As the ice melts and the darker ocean surface is exposed, more sunlight is absorbed, leading to further warming, a vicious cycle that accelerates climate change. Yet every cloud, or in this case, every melting iceberg, has a silver lining. The reduction in Arctic ice cover has opened up new possibilities for shipping routes. The Northwest Passage and the Northern Sea Route, previously inaccessible due to ice, are now becoming navigable. This could significantly shorten trade routes between Asia, Europe, and North America, potentially reshaping global trade patterns. However, this is not without its drawbacks. Increased shipping traffic in these ecologically sensitive areas raises significant environmental concerns. The potential for oil spills, ship strikes on marine mammals, and the introduction of invasive species could have devastating impacts on the fragile Arctic ecosystem. Furthermore, the exploitation of the Arctic for its resources, such as oil and gas, becomes more feasible as the ice recedes. This could lead to a new gold rush, with countries scrambling to stake their claim on the Arctic's untapped resources. Yet, such activities pose significant environmental risks and could further exacerbate the effects of climate change. The North Pole is a bellwether for the effects of climate change. Its changing landscape offers us a glimpse into the future, a future where the effects of our actions today will be felt in the most extreme of environments. We must heed the warnings that the melting North is giving us and act to mitigate the impacts of climate change. The North Pole, an icy wilderness that holds a mirror to our world's climate future.